gave a thumbs up.
Good. Okay, everybody ready? Okay, good evening, and thanks for coming back for this update. I appreciate the patience of not only the local media, but the community as well. So thank you all for your patience and understanding as we continue to work through this scene. I do have some updates, and then I'll be glad to answer any questions that I can answer, but please understand that we're still here investigating, we're still here collecting evidence. There's a lot of work that is yet to be done, but we're dedicated to accomplishing that work to hold the person or persons accountable for this vicious, brutal attack. Just a horrible, horrible incident that's upset, obviously, this entire community. This morning at 7:49 a.m., we received a cell phone 911 call that was an open line hang-up. When we get the cell phone 911 calls, it doesn't give us an exact address. But that call was captured and noted, and 13 minutes later at 8:02 a.m., we received a cell phone 911 call from the very same cell phone, and two persons communicated with our 911 call taker. The husband of this home, who I am not going to identify beyond identifying him as a husband, and the au pair who resides in this home, who I am not going to identify beyond describing her as an au pair. At that 8:02 911 cell phone call, the husband and the au pair communicate with the 911 call taker. The husband tells the 911 call taker that he just shot a man inside of his home, and the husband tells the 911 call taker that the man who he had just shot had stabbed his wife. At 8:03, police officers were dispatched to the scene, and Fairfax County police officers arrived at 8:10. I'll describe the two persons who are deceased. One was pronounced dead inside the home. The other was transported to a local hospital and pronounced dead. The male decedent, who was found dead inside the home, shot to death. First name Joseph, middle name Nathan, last name Ryan. Joseph Nathan Ryan, all common spelling. He's 39 years old. The female decedent, who was stabbed inside the home, transported to a local hospital, pronounced dead at the hospital, her name is Christine Ann, A-N-N, no E, Christine Ann Banfield, B-A-N-F-I-E-L-D. Christine Banfield is 37 years old. There were two other adults inside the home during this time frame. The two other adults inside the home I previously described as the husband, and I previously described as the au pair. There was a 4-year-old child inside the home who obviously we're not identifying. She is unharmed, and she is with the Fairfax County Police Department right now. We still have a lot of work to do to identify who exactly, we have to prove it, who exactly shot and killed our male decedent, Joseph Ryan, and who exactly stabbed Christine Banfield to death. We know what our 911 caller, the husband, told us, but we have a lot of work to do to substantiate that claim, or to otherwise identify the person responsible for that crime and both crimes. So I'll pause here and take any questions. You look like you're ready to ask me the first question.
Thank you for this. Do you know what this man was doing at the home?
No, we do not. He does not live here. I stated at the earlier press conference that there was no forced entry whatsoever. This is not a home invasion. He appears, well, here's what I can say right now with certainty. He did not force entry into the home, and I don't know exactly what the nature of his presence in the home is all about just yet, but we're working hard to determine that.
Do any of these people know each other?
Well, the female decedent is obviously married to her husband, who was the 911 call taker. The female decedent obviously lives in the same home as the au pair, so the three of them live in the home together. The female decedent, the husband, and the au pair. The fourth adult in the home is the male decedent. I'm not going to say much more about him at the moment, but we don't think he is necessarily a stranger, but we're still working to determine more facts before we describe him any further.
He was not in a relationship with the
We don't know.
Do we know what led up to this, the possible motive?
We don't know. We're working really hard to figure all that out. This is one of those press conferences where you're going to be frustrated with what you might describe as a lack of specificity from me. We don't know a lot of things just yet, and we're working really hard to find them out. Tragedy that the two people were killed inside that home. There were two other persons inside the home, obviously the husband and the au pair, and we're characterizing the husband and the au pair for now as present and involved. The husband and the au pair, we know, were present and involved, and we're working to determine exactly what that means.
Are they being questioned right
The
now?
husband was treated at a local hospital for a minor injury that he told us he had to his leg, and the husband has elected not to speak to Fairfax County detectives. The au pair is speaking with Fairfax County detectives right now. Olivia, and then you, I'm sorry. The first 911 call came from what we now know to be the au pair's cell phone. When we get that 911 call from a cell phone, we don't unfortunately get an exact address, but that 911 call was an open mic. Nothing discernible on that call. It was a quick hang up. We noted that call 13 minutes later from the same 911, from the same cell phone. A 911 call was made, and on the phone was first the au pair communicating with us, and then she apparently handed the phone to the husband. The husband communicated with us, and that's when the husband told us that he shot and killed a man inside of his home, and that's when the husband told us that the man who he shot and killed was stabbing his wife.
And Josephine Ryan, where's he from?
I don't know. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, do we say how Ryan got into the home?
We can't say that right now, but we do know that there's no forced entry, and there's a lot of folks in this neighborhood. It's a quiet residential neighborhood. We're continuing to canvass. We ask anyone with information about this to contact us. The easiest way is 1-866-411-TIPS. But again, like I mentioned at the start of this morning's press conference, there's no continuing threat to public safety or this neighborhood whatsoever, and there's no one who is unaccounted for.
Was one of the four vehicles that were removed from the scene that of Mr. Ryan's?
Yeah, I'm not prepared to describe the vehicles that were here or the vehicles that were taken, and all the vehicles are subject to our crime scene investigation, so I'm not going to get into which vehicles were taken or not.
Do you know how long the au pair worked with?
I don't. The au pair is, I'll tell you how old she is. She's 22. The husband that I'm only identifying, the husband is 38. The au pair that I'm only identifying as the au pair is 22. And I don't know how long she's been employed by the family, and I don't know how long she's lived at the residence, but we're working to find that out.
How would you categorize how the husband and the au pair sounded on that 911 call?
I'm not ready to categorize how they sounded. I appreciate that question, but that's all subject to our investigation right now. They're important pieces.
Chief, we're hearing that the husband, obviously he had a gun accessible, that he may be a member of law enforcement. Can you go as far as confirming that?
Yeah, the only thing that I want to continue to characterize the husband as is the husband, the one who got on that 911 call. He resides here. He's 38 years old. I'm not prepared to talk about his place of employment at the moment. I'm sorry? I do not know if Ryan had been to the home before or not.
Could you describe the husband's injuries that brought him to the hospital?
No, the husband claimed a minor injury to his leg. I'm not sure about the exact nature of that leg injury, but it was minor, and he was released. I think I'm sure I just mentioned the fact that after the husband was released from the hospital, he was afforded an opportunity to speak with Fairfax County detectives, and he declined to speak with Fairfax County detectives about the death of his wife.
Is he being held in custody right now?
No, he's an involved person right now. He is not charged. He is not accused. He was present at the home. He was involved, and we're continuing our investigation. And the status of folks may change over time, but right now he was present inside the home and involved, and that's all we have right now. Olivia. I'm sorry. Well, the child was never necessarily in custody. But we're taking care of the child. We're working with other family members to make sure that child's cared for, and we're going to do what's right by that child. The truest victim of all is that 4-year-old.
Is that little girl the child of the husband and wife?
Yes, we believe the 4-year-old little girl is the child of the husband and our female decedent. Yes, sir.
Is it unusual for a relative of a homicide victim to decline to speak with detectives? Is that unusual?
Well, I don't want to characterize it beyond saying that we gave the husband an opportunity to talk to our detectives about the death of his wife, and he declined to speak with us. I think I'll just leave it at that. Well, I don't know. We're going to be here as long as it takes for us to thoroughly investigate and gather evidence. And again, our apologies to the community at large, but we have to spend the time here to get this right. We are going to get this right, and the person or persons accountable, responsible for this heinous crime, will be held accountable. I promise you that.
Chief, two questions for you. Did Ryan have any prior contact with law enforcement, and do you believe multiple people were responsible for this right now?
So the question, and I'm always asked to repeat your questions because some of the listeners can't hear it. So I don't know anything about Ryan other than what I've described. And part 2 of your question was?
Do you believe multiple people were responsible for this?
I think the person or persons responsible for this are already known to us. We just have to sort out who was responsible for what, and we have to sort out the exact nature of Mr. Ryan's presence inside the home. So we're sorting through all that right now.
Mr. Ryan acted alone?
I'll just respond to that by saying we believe that all the persons responsible for what happened here today are known to us, and we're inside the home. Again, 2 inside the home are dead, and the other 2 persons were present as well.
Chief, is there any speculation where your investigation is taking you that there was a relationship between the husband and the au pair?
Well, if I speculate, I probably shouldn't have this job. No, we're not in the speculation business. We have to gather facts. We have to interview people, and we have to do it by the numbers. Certainly, a double murder in a quiet community like this one is unusual, and it's upsetting to everyone. I get it, and we're going to work really hard to get the facts. And once we get the facts, we're going to work with the Commonwealth's Attorney's Office, and they're with us every step of the way, and seek justice in a way that honors the victims and the 4-year-old. Olivia. I don't know. That's a good question, and we can get that for you afterwards.
Chief, do you know if the gun was registered to any one person?
I don't know anything yet about the gun.
Where's the au pair from?
I don't know where the au pair is from. The female victim sustained fatal stab wounds. The male victim sustained fatal gunshot wounds. I'm not going to get into where or how many just yet, because that's all privy and important pieces of the investigation that detectives need to carry out their duties and responsibilities.
Chief, did the male in the house who fired the gun, did he claim that he was trying to save his own life, save his wife's life? This is why he was shot, the male who was deceased?
I don't know. I'd certainly like to ask him that, but he's not talking to us.
Chief, anything you'd like to say to the folks out here in this neighborhood?
Yeah. Well, thank you for that, and thank you all for your patience and your understanding and being with us every step of the way. Any tidbit of information that anyone has, even if it's seemingly not important, is important to this overall investigation in some way, shape, or form. So I can't thank everyone enough who's already stepped forward, and anyone who's out there hearing news of this tragic event, who knows anything about the decedents or other folks, we'd certainly like to hear from them as well. Thank you all.
And thank you all for coming out. We'll be sure to keep you updated. You can also follow us at Fairfax County PD, and we'll make sure to keep in touch with you. We'll be updating you as much as we can throughout the weekend, so we won't be offline.
Later today, there will be more updates, or this is
Probably not later today, but we'll be able to get some more updates.